Hi.
So I'm Cynthia Sue Larson, and I'm here today with Julia Mossbridge. And just by way of brief introduction, Julia is amazing.
That's how I would introduce her.
So I love your work. Basically, you are a cognitive neuroscientist, and you've done a lot of research at Northwestern University. Now you'll be affiliated with Institute of Noetic Sciences. Love the new job title. So exciting.
Yeah.
So it's ION's Director of Technology to Transcendence, if I got that right.
It's actually the director of the Innovation Lab, which
Innovation
is
Lab.
the tagline for Innovation Lab is Technology for Transcendence. So you got them.
Awesome.
You got them both.
Well, I'm so happy about that. Yeah. And I have a question for you today, which is, I'll spring it on you because there's no briefing.
Am I really 6 feet tall?
Are you?
I am, yes.
No, the question
That's
is, what do most people, I want to focus on you first, and I love in your talk you talk about you and others, but what do you know for sure, or relatively for sure, that most people don't know, but that could positively transform their lives if they were aware of it?
Oh my gosh.
And it could be just in this moment, what your pet peeve or pet focus of attention is. What people don't seem to be aware of, but you know it pretty much for sure.
I love the question. And maybe that's what I love in this moment. Maybe what I love in this moment is, and that I can share with people, that what brings me to science, and in fact, what I ended up converting to Judaism from Unitarianism, which is hardly a religion, but anyway, because the questions. So that to value and privilege questions,
yes,
and to sit with the unknown is the job of a scientist, and happens to be also the job of Jews, and other people who are on any kind of mystical path, is to sit with the unknown and to not collapse things too early. So there's a desire that we all have to know the answer, because there's a thought, I think, or a feeling that if I know the answer, I'm safe,
yes,
or something. And if I don't know the answer, there's some kind of feeling of unsafety, like unsurety, but if I'm on solid footing, if I know the answer, I'm safe. Well, I think it's just the opposite. So my experience is that when you can really just let yourself not know the answer for a long period of time about something, you're so safe, because you know you're right.
Which is what people want.
Right.
They want to be right.
Know that you're right because you don't know. And that's the most accurate description of the human experience, right?
Yes.
Is to really be confused and to not know. And so that's what attracts me to science.
And for some reason, when you're talking about this, I get the idea. It reminds me of like drown-proofing in school. I don't know if you had
drown-proofing,
well,
like a swimming pool.
You get in a swimming pool, and a lot of people, if they don't know how to swim, they flail. They just go like nuts.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're
the
in a
safest
pool,
thing is just
to float.
Yeah.
You learn to float.
Yeah.
It's the first thing you learn.
Yeah.
To be in that state of you're not going to swim.
I can't swim.
Don't know what you're doing.
But I'm just going to sit here.
You just calm down, and you basically, you learn to float.
Yeah, that's great. That's a very safe sort of process that you just described. Is that what I can do is like get all obsessed with the fear of not knowing, or I could just take this tack of like, I don't know how to swim.
Yes.
And the best approach is to float. I love that. Yeah. And I do think that's transformative, and I know that for sure just because, as you're trained over the years as a scientist, you get really clear that science, unfortunately, we teach science in school as if it's all about knowing, right? And it's
like facts.
Yeah, you
just
should
pour
know
the facts into a jar.
Yeah. Ooh, airplanes. And at the same time, what's really true, and what people who are lucky enough to continue in science discover, is that it's not at all about knowing, because the job is to not know. As soon as you know the answer to something, you have another question. So, and you're like, oh, I'm done with that. Let's go look at this, and hardly ever do you have that experience anyway. So, yeah, I think that's good.
So, and something people could use, unless they're a scientist, in which case you might want to get more funding by saying, I can solve this. You
Right, you can solve small pieces of it.
So the advice for someone who's watching this at home, just a regular, ordinary person, would be calm down, just kind of relax, be in that uncertainty.
Enjoy the unknowing. Like that's the only state in which you're really honest.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, that was okay a great question.
Give you a hug.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Great question.